Hello girls, today we are going to tackle grammar for grade 10 unit 9, grade 11 unit 12 and grade 12 unit 7. We are going to explain the reported speech. As you know that the reported speech is used to report other people's words. Look at the examples. I will call you tomorrow. So when you report what he said, you will say, he said that he would call me the next day. So the sentence or the statement the boy said is reported, but if you noticed, we have some changes. He said, I will call you tomorrow. When we reported what he said, we changed. We said he would call me the next day. The teacher is strict. If I want to report, so she said the teacher was strict. The teacher is giving everyone an A. When you report what the teacher said, you will say, he said the teacher was giving everyone an A. So, for the reported statements, we need to have some changes. First, we change the pronouns or the possessive adjectives. If I have I and the speaker is a male, so we change it into he, and if the speaker is a female, we change it into she. Me changes into him or her. My changes into his or her. Myself changes into himself or herself. All this is according to the speaker. We changes into they, us changes into them, our changes into their, and ourselves changes into themselves. This is the first change for the reported statements. The second change is the verb tense. We change the verb tense into the past. And if the verb is in the past, we change it into the past perfect. Past perfect means had plus the verb in the past participle. So simple present changes into simple past. Like for example, if I have write, it changes into wrote. And the simple past changes into past perfect. So if I have wrote, it changes into had written. Sometimes you make mistakes with am and is and so on. So am or is changes into was. But if I have was, it changes into had been. Are changes into were. But if I have were, it will change into had been. Have or has change into had. And had changes into had. Will becomes would. But if I have would, it doesn't change. Can changes into could. And if I have could, it doesn't change. Shall changes into should. And should doesn't change. May changes into might. And might does not change. The third change we have here is in the time or place references. For example, if I have this, it changes into that. These becomes those. Here becomes there. Yesterday, the day before or the previous day. Tomorrow, the day after, the following day. Today becomes that day. Tonight, that night. Now becomes then. Ago becomes before. Last, the previous. Last Monday, last week, last month, and so on. Next becomes the following and thus changes into so. This is for the reported statement. But actually we have also reported questions. We have two types of questions, WH questions and yes/no questions. For the WH questions, when does the film start? So I want to report this. So I say, he asked me when the film started. Notice here the does. It doesn't exist here. Yes, no question. Have you done your homework or not? The teacher asked if or whether. Notice here we added if or whether. We had done our homework or not. So we have some changes here for the question as well. Number 1, we use question word plus the subject plus verb. Or instead of the question word, you can use if. He asked, where is my pen? So he asked where his pen was. Notice the order. Question word, subject, verb. And the verb changes as we mentioned before. The present becomes past and the past becomes past perfect. So, where, question word, his pen is the subject and was is the verb. Don't forget the verb tense changes as mentioned before. Omit do, does, or did if exists in the question. She asked, where do you live? So I will omit the do here. She asked where I lived. Do the same changes for pronouns and time or place expressions. Like this becomes that, yesterday, the day before, and so on. Let's try to correct the underlined mistakes here and see if you understood the rule. Number 1, they told us that we lose our way to the park yesterday. So this is a reported statement. So we said we changed the pronouns, we changed the verb tense, and we changed time or place references. So we changes according to the speaker, so it will be they. Lose is in the past. It is not in the present. Why is that? Because I have yesterday here. So yesterday shows us that the tense is in the past and the past changes into past perfect. Our changes into there according to the table I started with, and yesterday becomes the day before. Number 2, the father asked her son, where you have been? This is a question. So the father asked his son, where? We said that the order is question word, subject, and verb. So the order is correct, but the pronoun is not correct. So you, according to his son, so he had been. 3, the teacher asked his student, where you spent the last summer holiday? It's a question as well. So the teacher asked her student where she, and also here it is in the past, simple past, so it changes into had spent, past perfect, and last changes into the previous. Fatima wanted know. So here wanted is followed by to. Wanted to know if parrots can speak. So it's a question and it says no question, and can here should change into could. Thank you very much, my dear students, and I hope that you found the rule easy, and goodbye. See you next time.